In order to place Mark chapter 13, verse 24 to 32 in focus, it's important to remember that in ancient Israelite society, there were only two formal or freestanding social institutions: kinship, or the domestic, family, and family-like groups, and politics. The distinct social institutions recognized by modern Western culture as economics and religion were embedded in those first two. That also is true for education. Education in the ancient world took place within the family for the purpose of enculturating youngsters into proper ways of living and behaving as family members. Education also took place in the royal court to train individuals for roles in the palace, like courtier or diplomat. In the world of the Bible, and everywhere else in the ancient world, wherever religion was found, it was found only embedded into family or politics. Family religion or domestic religion was rather private and focused on concern for one's ancestors and household gods. Political religion was quite public and took place in the temple through regular services, occasional pilgrimage feasts, and the like. That politics and religion were identical in ancient Israelite society is evident in the fact that the Hebrew language uses just one word for palace and temple. By predicting the imminent destruction of the temple in Mark chapter 13 verses 1 to 2, Jesus announces the end of political Israelite society and the political institution in which it was embedded. The verses of Mark chapter 13 verses 24 to 32 are carved from the totality of chapter 13. They focus on the patron Israelite God's role in this event. The cosmic events like the darkening of the sun and moon, stars falling from the sky vault, and shaking the powers in the sky vaults are entirely and exclusively under God's control. Nobody else can manipulate these elements of creation. The next verses, 26 through 27, echo descriptions of an official visit of an emperor, technically called a parousia in Greek. Roads get prepared for the entourage. Potholes get filled in and chariot ruts are leveled. Messengers announce the coming of the emperor and gather the people to greet him. Great displays of power and honor are a very important part of the announcement. The Markan Jesus is absolutely convinced that the imminent destruction of the Jerusalem temple and the end of political Israel will occur during the lifetime of his audience. We know Jesus died around 30 Common Era, and that the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed 70 Common Era. That Jesus survived birth and lived approximately to the age of 30 places him in a very select 10% of the population of his time and place. Many in Jesus' audience, the overwhelming majority, would have been considerably younger than he, severely disease-ridden, and facing only a decade or fewer years of life expectancy. By the time the destruction of Jerusalem and its temple rolled around, these people would be dead. Most of them, almost all of them. In the light of this data from paleopathology, which is the study of ancient disease, it would seem Jesus expected the political end of Israel much sooner than it actually happened. Jesus is so positive about this that he gives his word of honor. Truly I tell you, and sky vault and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Why does Jesus have to swear like that? Well, secrecy, lying, and deception are so much an integral part of safeguarding Mediterranean honor that people in that culture are at a loss to know when somebody is telling the truth. In order to guarantee the truth of what one says, a person must swear an oath, putting himself under a curse. By my life, as I live, amen, amen, I say to you, and the like. Another way to guarantee the truth of somebody's statement is to say, even if the impossible should happen, what I'm telling you right now is impossible not to happen. Well, for ancient Israelites like Jesus, sky vault and earth passing away are impossible. The total destruction of the earth and the skies are impossible in the mind of Jesus. The earth and the sky vaults encompassing the earth are God's good creation, and they will last forever, according to Israelite understanding. But even if you could imagine the impossible happening, that sky vault and earth would somehow disappear, Jesus' impossible sounding statement about the end of political Israel, the destruction of the temple, is definitely going to occur in the lifetimes of his listeners. Biblical people talk about the forthcoming, not the future. Most ancient people scratched out subsistence survival. Today and tomorrow's troubles, and maybe those of the day after next, were enough. Beyond that, only God knows. How different we Westerners are, huh? We love to plan for the future. In fact, post-industrial Western people invented future planning, believing that we can estimate and cause events to take place within the next 5 to 25 years. But we Western people are similar to the disciples of Jesus in that we too obsess about what's coming, even though for us, we're obsessed about what's coming in future, whereas for them, it was the forthcoming. Like the disciples, we would like to know and try to calculate when the end will happen. Maybe all Christians today should reread carefully Jesus' final words. No one knows. Neither the angels in sky vault, the constellations, nor the Son, but only the Father. And guess what? The Father's not telling.